SU7. Xiaomi SU7 is positioned as a full-size high-performance eco-technology sedan. Many of you may be curious about why we want to build such a car. First off, we choose to build a sedan because sedan is the symbol of the automobile industry at different stages. Most of the cars that are remembered by history are sedans, and to build a sedan could enable us to become a representative of this era. Therefore, we are determined to build a sedan. And if you know about the automotive industry, from a technology perspective, you know to build a sedan is more difficult than building a SUV. Therefore, in all aspects, we always choose the most difficult one to work on. Secondly, high performance is in the gene of Xiaomi. In our gene, we always have the pursuit of extreme performance. Thirdly, technology plus ecosystem, because with technology and ecosystem, we are able to build a car that is good-looking, easy to drive, and comfortable and safe to drive, and make it a smart mobile space. Many people ask me, who is the user of this car? And for whom do you build this car? I believe they must be a group of people who love advanced technology, who have high tastes, and who are passionate about life. They are the elite of this era. The goal of Xiaomi EV is to make sure that we can make technology breakthrough and achieve driver-vehicle harmony. With our rich ecosystem and technology, we want to provide our drivers with the sense of oneness between driver and vehicle, and the people in our car will also enjoy a smart life that really reads your mind. So now I would like to invite you to put your hands together to welcome Xiaomi SU7. Is it beautiful? So let's take a closer look from the side. Very graceful outline. At first sight, it feels like your heart is flipped. So this is the most beautiful angle for you to look at Xiaomi SU7. From the front, you see the low stance of the car and also very impactful fronts. So the whole car gives you a strong sense of power and dynamics. And from the side front, you can see this rich curve of the outline and also the wheel arc design with tension. And from the rear back, it is also the angle from which SU7 looks very beautiful. You see the power and also the gracefulness in it. And also at the back, you see the upturned back and also this symbolic halo tail lights. Very recognizable. Xiaomi SU7 is a full-size high-performance eco-technology sedan. The size of it is like a upper mid-range car. It's 5 meters long, the wheelbase is 3 meters, and it is 14.4 meters high and about 2 meters wide. The size is similar to BMW 5 Series. So many people say it should be 7 Series, so we thought maybe we can call it SU5. Therefore, we named our car after SU7. So the naming of the car is very strange. So just like how you name your phones, you start with Pro Max. We have different kinds of names for your phones and for the cars. And this is not a criticism because we just paid tribute to all the car companies. So SU7 means that the size is similar to BMW 5 Series.
怎么了？我没说错什么吧？那个 Model 3呢是 B 级的， 所以呢我们比 Model 3
Model 3 is a Class B vehicle, therefore we are larger than Model 3.
像这么好看的车，其实我们在
For such a beautiful
刚开始
car,
设计的时候啊。
when we first started to design it, we went through a lot of up and downs. I rejected the design 3 times. It was very difficult for the design team at the very beginning. They also want to make some very unique design. So all the designers would like to do the same. They want to make a great design. Therefore, they came up with a lot of very creative designs for the car. So I don't know whether I can say this design is good or bad, but I know if we do a user survey or market survey, we will know whether this design is good or not. So for many Chinese users, a car is a durable product. Usually you will need to drive the car for 7 or 10 years. Therefore, for the users, they don't just want the car to be good looking. They also need the car also needs to be worth appreciating. So for SU7, whether it looks beautiful or not, it is not about right now. We have to think about whether SU7 is still good looking after 7 or 10 years. Therefore, from the very beginning, we want to make a design that can endure the test of time, because only time will tell us whether the design is good enough or not. So after setting this goal for our design, I really give the entire designing team a hard question. But I have to tell you, Xiaomi EV is very lucky. We put up a very young, skilled and talented designing teams. So let me introduce our designing team to you. First is our chief designer, Mr. Li Tianyuan.
李田园可能是在国际上最
Li Tianyuan is the most famous Chinese designer in the world. He is the first Chinese designer for BMW Global. And when he watched the launch event 3 years ago, he was so excited. So he asked to become part of our project, and he moved his entire family back to China. So what has he been involved? For example, the BMW iX, which is the flagship for electrical SUV. He defined the design language of BMW i series. He also designed the concept car of BMW, the iVision Circular. He redefined the kidney grills of BMW. Moreover, he was also involved in the new 7 series of BMW, which was launched last year. He was involved in the preliminary design. We still remember the new 7 series, low in the front and high at the back. And also the luxurious ambient light inside. It is very club style, and we know it must be from a Chinese designer. And I hope Mr. Li can bear with me. And he's really skilled and talented. And our second one is Mr. Qiu Zhen, a handsome man. He's from Mercedes-Benz. He is the exterior designer. And his famous work includes EQXX. It is a concept car with a range of over 1,000 kilometers. And it is a car with the lowest drag coefficient. He was the designer of it. And for the interior designer, Xin, he was the former interior designer of BMW. He was involved in the interior design of BMW Z4 and BMW X1. So this is a group of talented people, and all of them have over 10-year experience, and they come from world-renowned car companies in the world. Therefore, they have dedicated a lot to the designing of this car, way beyond your imagination. Therefore, let's hear from them about how they designed it. It's very beautiful, right? So after watching this video, I hope you can understand the designing principle of SU7. We want to go back to the nature of design, and we want to find the beauty that fits our intuition, the beauty that fits the nature, and we want to create designs that can withstand the test of time. So the best thing of SU7's design, which is also the part we invested the most, is the proportion and the curved surface. Whether a car is good looking or not is about the proportion. First off, we have 3 times tire size to wheelbase ratio, so the car looks slim and long, and we have 2 times tire size to height ratio. So from the side, you see it is looks lightweight and low stance, and we also have 1.36 times aspect ratio. It have a coupe style low stance, so this is an extreme proportion. For a family car to reach this proportion, it requires the designing team and the engineering team to do a lot and work very hard. Many people think SU7 is like a top-notch sports car because sports car usually pursue such extreme proportion. So because its proportion is very similar to a sports car, therefore you think it looks very cool and handsome. And this car is not just designed for beauty, we also designed for driving experience and for functionality, as well as performance. For EV, because the battery pack is usually very expensive. Therefore, in the process of driving the EV, we need to reduce the energy consumption. In our day-to-day driving, 40% of the energy is used to address the wind drag. Sometimes a maximum of 80% of the energy will be used to this end. Therefore, it is very important for us to reduce the wind drag. Sometimes we come up with creative design. It looks ridiculous, but it looks fine afterwards. All of this is to reduce the wind drag.
So before we talk about wind drag, let's introduce an equation. Or if not, this is the only equation I'm going to show you. This equation is determined by 4 parameters. One is air density. This is something you cannot change. Second is velocity v squared. Third is wind area. The reason why we need to take a low stance design is to reduce the wind area. So all sports cars have a low stance in order to reduce the wind area. The fourth is drag coefficient. Speaking of drag coefficient, the most aerodynamic shape in nature is actually raindrops. So raindrop is the most perfect shape in nature. The drag coefficient of a raindrop is only 0.05. And another fun fact for you. Drag coefficient is measured by count. 1 count is 0.005. So the drag coefficient, the CD of raindrop, is only 50 counts. So how can we produce a car with the lowest CD? How can we lower the CD? And in our team, we believe wind, nature are the best co-designers. So we have to work with wind. We have to keep testing it in wind tunnels in order to find the most optimum design, the most optimum shape. So we've done many details revisions. So first of all, this 28-degree deep, large deep angle, the 70-degree sports back, so that the wind can actually be offset on the sides in order to lower the negative pressure by 10 counts. Remember, the CD of a raindrop is 50 counts, and this one step can lower the CD by 10 counts. Secondly, so the curvature of the car body. So in the beginning, we use G3, and later on, we change it to G4. This can actually lower the CD by 1 count. This change is indistinguishable to human eyes, but after some testing, we find out this action can lower the wind drag by 1 count. And we also were changing our rear view mirror to make it bezel-less. Of course, now the current national standard do not allow bezel-less, so we actually reduce the wind area by 20% just by using bezel-less mirror, and also make it into a water drop shape. So this can save 2 counts. And I think the prettiest part of this car is the LiDAR. So for all the cars I've seen, the LiDAR on top looks bad. But working with our LiDAR supplier, we redesigned the structure of LiDAR to make it an integrated part of a car. It takes the shape of a paddle. So we lower the LiDAR by 2 mm and lower the counts by 4. So with all those efforts, we were able to achieve a drag coefficient. Right now, the industrial standard is 0.2. And Xiaomi reached 0.195, the lowest drag coefficient in production cars globally. That means very low energy consumption and outstanding range. In Chongqing, we did lots of testing in the wind tunnel. I would like to show you a lab view. Quite stunning results. How did we do it? First of all, we built digital models and with more than 1,000 simulations digitally, and then we made a clay model with more than 300 modifications. We did lots of actual tests in the wind tunnel. So the cycle of clay models is much longer than expected. In the beginning, we used outsourced lab, and later on we spent millions to build our own lab and introduced the most advanced clay milling equipment, which located in our office, and it can finish the milling within a day and improve the milling efficiency. So every day we can change our clay model, looking for the best option. And talking with my colleagues, they told me that the design workload of this car is actually 3.5 times that of their previous job in another car making company. And SU7 has very good aerodynamic design. 8 vents, 70 authentic aerodynamic vents. So you may not know how those vents work. And we also have a very cool active rear spoiler. At high speed, it generates 130 kilograms of downforce. Very impressive roll holding at high speed. For a car to be great, to be timeless, to be futuristic, it needs to have their own unique language, design language. So I would like to tell you SU7's unique design. Number 1, the water drop headlight. Take a close look. It's in the shape of water drop. Like I said, water drop is the most aerodynamic shape in nature. And the daylight's running light, high and low beams together forms a unique pattern that resembles the Chinese character for rice. It's very distinctive, very unique. Our own design language. Second, the halo taillight, which is consisted of 420 LED lights and progressive light strip that makes you stand out in the night traffic. Thirdly, something that we praised online. So on the wheel, we have made a very small broken line that looks similar to a ripple. We call it a 170-degree flowing curve. Makes the body elegant, powerful. We call it a 175-degree flowing curve. And another detail is in the door handle. this hidden door handle was widely praised online after the design was leaked. It's very intuitive. In winter, traditional door handle can be frozen up and hard to open. The reason why I like this design is that when I wash my car, I feel like a traditional door handle is usually hard to clean. There's always some dirt, and that makes me kind of upset. That's why we designed this intuitive hidden door handle. And let's move on to colors. Colors are quite important to a car. Because car has a large surface. Under different lighting environments, the color looks quite different. So we're looking for the best color in nature. The first color I want to unveil is called aqua blue, a very vital, vibrant color. It was inspired by the water 60 meters under the sea level, where the water is the cleanest. The color is somewhere between green and blue. So it is actually a color between green and blue. That becomes the color of SU7. Very pretty color. When you drive SU7, from dawn to dusk, under different sunlight, the shades of the color changes as the lighting varies. So in different light, it takes different shade. I would like to show you two pictures. One is taken on mountain top. Beautiful, right? The other was taken besides the Napa Lake in Shangri-La. In different lighting, in different environment, the car looks always stunning. The second color is a very classy gray, mineral gray. It is inspired by the rock stratum of Yadan landform. It takes hundreds of years to form. The grayscale is 75%. It's not too bright, not too dull. It is tranquil and balanced. Let's look at it from another angle. A very pretty gray. And I noticed that 50% of cars on the street is white. White is boring. So I don't want white for SU7. I want something more interesting, more fun. So we changed our color design several times, and we decided on this mineral gray. Let's look at the actual picture. Amazing, right? Let's show the two colors together. Aqua blue is a high set color. Mineral gray is a low set color. High set colors are usually used and reserved for sports cars. Because to maintain such a high set color for 20 years, it's very difficult, and the paint is quite expensive. That's why it is reserved for sports cars and too expensive for sedans. And young people might feel it's a little bit too high profile, too exaggerating. But I know that our Xiaomi users are confident enough to drive this color. But do we charge more for this color? We know that Porsche charge more for some special colors. And Ferrari is actually more notorious in this case. For a particular color, you have to pay 400,000 more. It's not you cannot afford a Ferrari, it's you cannot afford that special color. Mineral gray is a low set color. Very fashionable, very popular. Low set colors are trendy today. So we choose a low set color. Let's look at it in dawn. Besides these two, we also have a metallic paint for you. a verdant green. In verdant green, we add some gold color, and on the surface, there are some shimmering pink colors, so it's balanced with tension. For such a color combination, it's better poised to showcase the curved beauty of SU7. Let's look at the car. Isn't it beautiful? Because it combines with the shimmering pink and metallic verdant green. Those are real pics shot on the plateau, and this is from the rear side angle, which is the best angle to look at SU7. Every time I see SU7, I felt the urge to drive it, to go everywhere. It's a very cool thing to do, but I'm very busy. And my colleagues took my place to realize this dream. They drove SU7 to many beautiful places and shot us very good video. Very cool indeed. We aim to keep it confidential, so we shot very limited number of the outdoor videos. But today, since we launched it about the exterior design, there will be more beautiful videos to be published in the future. And many people are concerned about the interior design of SU7. The interior design adopts a wraparound cockpit design. It's plump and gentle. The riding experience is very warm. As you can see, we have floating dashboard with the air vents, so the space for the passengers is pretty big, and you could have very clear view from inside. The glass area is 5.35 square meters, so it's very spacious inside with very clear view. And many people are concerned about the sunshine in the summertime, and we've already considered it in the start of our designing. So we adopted the top-notch sun protection process. On the roof, we adopted the 2 layers of silver plating on the skylight. The UV resistant is 99.9, IR resistant is 99.1. And on the front windshield, we also have 3 layers of silver plating with UV resistant 99.5 and IR resistant 97.6. We have an evaluation report saying that SU7 has the best performance in sun protection. And also we have the 5-display interaction in the cabin system. I will skip the details. And also, if you delete all the buttons, after several rounds of test drive, I found it very inconvenient. If everything is put onto the display when you are driving, it's not user and driver friendly. So I keep some commonly used buttons, physical buttons, because it's more user-friendly. Do you agree with me? So how many buttons did we keep? The air conditioning temperature adjusting, the airflow strength, those 2 buttons are kept, and we add 2 more buttons not so commonly used. The first one is the active rear spoiler and also air suspension button. Why did we add these 2 buttons? One of our friends bought a very luxurious car and bragged about it to me, showing me about the upgrading of active rear spoiler. After 10 minutes, we still didn't know what is happening there. So I thought I must be able to show our friends with just 1 second if you buy the SU7. If you press the button, it's just lifted, the spoiler is lifted. And there are several different levels. This is to demonstrate the function to our friends with this button. Also, our air suspension can lift as well. And those are usually the functionalities commonplace in the luxury cars. Another reason about the 2 buttons is that usually some underground garage has a very steep slope. So if you are going down the slope, those 2 buttons will be very pragmatic. And also we can support the extension of different buttons. So those would be very pragmatic functionalities. We have the tri-spoke D-shaped steering wheel, very sport style, with a diameter of 363 millimeters. And we have the sport style seats with the functions of ventilation and heating. And more importantly, considering the ergonomic features of the Chinese people, the lumbar support height is designed at 135 millimeters. So your shoulders and lumbar will be well supported and bolstered. We have elevated the height, so the driver will feel more comfortable. And also our cushion adopts the sandwich structure. We've gone into a lot of efforts in the cushion. We use the 3D mesh backing material with a thickness of 10 millimeters in the first layer. It's very soft with good ventilation and flexibility. And in the mid layer, we have memory foam. It's very comfortable. And also we have high-density PU in the bottom layer to support 75 kilograms of pressure, and it's elastic, so it's more adaptive to long-distance driving. Those are the efforts we have made in terms of cushion, and this is the only one of this kind of sedan. Our seats also use the full-grain Napa leather. It's very soft and comfy. As to colors, we have 3 options. This is galactic gray. The second option is sunset red. The third one, obsidian black. Those are the 3 color options. And when the car feels very balanced, you could also feel very sportsy driving and riding inside. All the interior designs have been certified at the first level internationally, so it's very skin-friendly. Even the infant's skin can directly contact it, because many parents will drive with their children on board. We are very attentive to environmental protection. We also have designed dynamic ambient lighting to increase the sense of luxury. We also have the top-level audio system installed with 23 speakers, 2 headrest speakers, so in total making it 25. And we support 1.4 sound channels, which is the million-level luxury audio system. And we also have Dolby Atmos. It's very beautiful and luxurious. Many people ask about the space. If you assume the coupe attitude, what about the space inside? I keep telling them that we have everything both on the outside and the inside. They look very fashionable and user-friendly, but if you get on board, it's very spacious. So even though we look like a coupe, it's an upper mid-range sedan. For example, we have a virtual image here with a height of 1.88 meters. I am 1.81 meter. And in the front seat, the vertical space reaches 1,012 millimeter. And for this virtual man with a height of 1.88 meter, this person has a very sufficient headroom. He doesn't feel cramped. And for the back seat, the passengers will also have sufficient headroom. The knee space is over that of a feast, and that experience is much better than that of Model S and BMW Series 5. So we strike a balance in terms of the outlook design and the pragmatic space design. Besides, we have a very big trunk with a capacity of 517 liters, and the depth is 1,136 millimeter, which is world-leading. Now let's take a look at the photos of the trunk. If there are 2 to 3 passengers inside, it can accommodate 28-inch suitcase, 2 20-inch suitcases, and another 2 backpacks. So sufficient to accommodate 2 to 3 people traveling. And also all the camping equipment can be taken inside the trunk. It's very spacious in the trunk. For EV, the most challenging part is about the space in the front trunk. We have the largest front trunk in China, 105 liters. What for? They say that you could put in your fishing equipment. Maybe you have bought some seafood, your takeaway food, and the fish you have just gotten. Those things may taint the passenger seats if you put them in the trunk at the back. So you put it in the front trunk because they're smelly. If you open the front trunk, it's very convenient to use. At this point, you may wonder, actually not all the EV cars have the front trunks. Some are transformed from the oil-burning vehicles before. The engines and the gearboxes may be kept empty, and you put another layer of plastic tab on top. They're not purely EV, but we are the forward-developed electrical platform. How did we accomplish it? We made a lot of efforts into this. We have an 18-in-1 triangulated frame. We put all of those parts together, and the AC and the radiators are also tilted in the installation phase to leave enough space for the front trunk. So the bigger the front trunk, the higher the designing level. That's about the interior design and the space on board that we have delicately prepared. We have invited thousands of people to review the design. We also have invited 300 to 400 industrial partners, 500 media friends, and 300 to 400 channel partners, and many experts in the industry to give us some suggestions. Why did we take it so seriously? We have invested over 10 billion on this SU7, so it must be a success. We have invited so many experts to guide us, and here I sincerely want to give my thanks to those friends who have suggested us. And also, we have invited some international experts to comment on SU7 and offer us some creative ideas. And for one example, the designing expert, Chris Bungle. I'm not sure if you have heard of him. He's one of the most well-known designers, basically the top 10. And he has once worked in BMW for 17 to 18 years, and he has designed the halo headlights and the flame-shaped curves. So very excellent designer in the vehicle. We asked him to guide us, and we have shot one video about him test driving and reviewing our SU7. Please have a look.
After test driving Xiaomi SU7, he spoke highly of this car, and he was excited when he met me. He said the design of this car is highly complete, and it does not look chunky as other EVs. So the renderings of other cars look very well, but if you go to the 4S stores, you see many of the EVs look very chunky. And secondly, this car is good to drive, very good driving experience. And he feels that this car is a very good starting point for Xiaomi. He personally was very excited, so I invited him to be the design expert consultant of Xiaomi, and he accepted this job. And we hope Chris in the future can provide more creatives and ideas to Xiaomi's design. At this point, I think performance, especially peak performance or extreme driving experience, is the goal for us to build cars. Speed is not just a parameter, it should be a faith. I hope that whoever is driving SU7, when the person puts the foot on the pedal, he can always feel a resonance with the person's soul. Therefore, we worked a lot on the performance of this car. We support dual motor and all-wheel drive. The highest power can be 673 PS. The peak torque is 838 Newton meter. So this power is equivalent to a coupe with 4-liter turbo. So is 0 to 100's performance is really scary. For a car like this, what is performance of 0 to 100? It is 2.78 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Below, you can see this is the performance of Taycan Turbo. It is 1.5 million Chinese yuan, so the performance of SU7 is ridiculous. In addition to 0 to 100, let me tell you, many competitors, when they introduced the performance of their car, they never mentioned the highest speed, because to guarantee great 0 to 100 and great highest speed, it is very difficult for you to do both very well. For SU7, its highest speed can be 265 kilometers per hour. It is better than Taycan and Model S, therefore its performance is great. And for its mid and post acceleration, it is even more powerful. For example, 0 to 200, it is only 10.67 seconds, and Taycan Turbo is 11.05 seconds. So basically, in all these parameters and competitions, SU7 is better than Taycan, including the 80 to 120, 120 to 160, and 0 to 400 straight dash. We can see SU7 is way better than Taycan Turbo in terms of performance, and we have to be humble. So this is a car with great driving performance, very powerful. It is very good to drive. Its turning radius is only 5.7 meters. You can make a full U-turn within 3 lanes. So it is very flexible to drive, and for our drivers, we also support customized driving mode. So you can change different parameters like turning and acceleration, and you have over 100 levels, and there are over 1.8 billion driving modes, so you can have an exceptional driving mode. And if you really like your driving mode, you can also upload your driving mode to the community, so you have infinite freedom. It also has the most classic boost mode for sports cars. Press the button, in 20 seconds you can get torque over boosts. Very exciting, and you all know this function. So when you are playing the racing games, you all know the boost button. And we have another mode called launch control. Let's take a look. So you see, this is the launch control. There is a very good driving experience. So this car is not just fast, and you can also stop very quickly. From 100 to 0, the braking distance is only 33.3 meters. So if you floor the brake pedal, it only takes 33.3 meters to stop the car. So after we start to build cars, I finally get to experience to floor the gas pedal and the brake pedal, and we want to improve our experience even better. So we have to be very confident about the car, and the car must be very good for you to really floor your pedals. So all these performances are as good as Taycan. For such a wonderful driving experience, it is because of the hard and software capability of the chassis. So we have the 5-link suspension, double wishbone suspension, and CDC damper control, air spring. All of these are the foundation of Xiaomi SU7. For example, our braking system is very strong. We have Brembo 4-piston calipers. So you can see this yellow part. It looks very cool. In addition, we also have Bosch DPB braking control. So this automatic system is also first launched in the world. We also have Bosch ESP 10.0 carbon stabilization system. With such a strong foundation of hardware, we also have 4 redundancies for braking. If your brake pedal fails, you can long press the P button to brake. If this fails, we also have DPB plus ESP as a backup braking system. If this fails too, you also have mechanical and hydraulic braking system. If this fails too, you also have the KERS regenerative braking system. So this car gives you a very powerful 4-level redundant safety braking mechanism. We also self-developed the chassis control algorithm. We have smart multi-dimensional sensing and global synchronized control. For example, we have self-adaptation to the road condition. So this is the magic carpet function on other cars. It can see as far as 150 meters. It can identify the speed bump and also slippery road, so the car will be able to address the situation beforehand. So you can go through the bumpy road and your driving is still as smooth as it can be. And we also have self-adaptation to bend attitude. So when you are making a sharp turn and when you are starting or stopping, all of a sudden the car is still in a perfect balance. So you see its fast turning is very stable and smooth. In addition, we also have aerodynamic self-adaptation. So according to the speed of the car, it can adjust the spoiler, it can adjust the active grille shutter and also the air spring. So based on the speed, it provides you with different downforce to really give your car the extreme performance. Another thing is that we also have the active seat side booster. So when you are making a turn, your seat will inflate automatically, so it can provide support to your body. So when you are turning, it is like your seat is embracing you. Very good experience. So this is only the configuration for the Mercedes-Benz G series or Maybach, especially when you are making a sharp turn. This is a wonderful experience. So, a brief summary of its performance, you see. 2.78 seconds 0 to 100, 265 kilometers per hour highest speed. In addition, we also have the customized driving mode, boost mode, launch control, and Xiaomi smart chassis. And also the 33.3 meters braking distance. We have the Brembo 4-piston calipers, Bosch DPB, and the Bosch ESP 10.0. The entire system is very powerful. Now let's take another look. Compare it with Taycan and the Model S. So you see these are the most common parameters: 0 to 100, highest speed and highest power. So with this, you can get a clear understanding of what SU7 is. So don't ask us to sell it at the price of 99,000. It is impossible.
Let's look at the range. We're equipped with 110 kilowatt-hour of battery. This is a co-production with CATL, equipped with Kirin NCM cell. You know that cell is very expensive. 100 kilowatt-hour CATL, Kirin. All these keywords means high cost. All cars with this kind of configuration usually are priced over 400,000. So stop trolling. It's not going to be priced at 140,000. Please show some respect to the solid configuration, the solid science behind the car. A car like this has a range of 800 kilometers. You might think 800 kilometers is not far enough. Some car can reach 1,000. But this is the best four-wheel drive car in China. This car is a whole package. Good look, long range. Compared with Taycan, they only have a range of 527 kilometers. And you have to take into account the power. Super fast charging. 5 minutes charging, it can run 222 kilometers. With 15 minutes of charging, the range is 510 kilometers. I believe this is far enough. And also the cold weather range retention. As I mentioned before, so I'm not going to repeat myself. So in terms of charging and battery, we are one of the industry leader. And there's another part of content that I want to stress on, the vehicle safety. Safety is our highest priority. This is our first car. We are very serious about the safety. We design our car to the highest safety standard. Our internal standards cover 3 standards. One is CNCAP, the Chinese national standard. And we chose the 2024 edition, which will come into force on July 1st, 2024, which is way higher than the 2021 edition. We use the future standard. Although our car will be launched in the first half of next year, we still adopt the highest standard. The second is the European standard, ENCAP 2023, 5-star standard. We also use CIASI 2023 standard. So all the standards we adopt are the most rigorous, highest standards in the world. And there are 4 parts to safety: passive, active, battery, and privacy. I would like to talk about passive safety first. For passive safety, we adopt armored cage steel aluminum alloy car body, 90% of which is made of high-strength steel and aluminum alloy. So the ultra-high-strength steel is super strong, reaching 2,000 MPa at a submarine grade. And let's talk about the front frame first, which is made of a large amount of high-strength steel. So we reinforce each joint point. And for the connection between the car body and the frame, we did many simulations in order to reinforce the frame. And also for the triangulated structure, we use die-cast aluminum structure in one piece. In impact, it can divert the impact force to the sides. It can also improve the torsional rigidity of the whole vehicle. And the third part is the threshold frame. We use honeycomb fashion aluminum threshold frame with 4 cross members. Each of them reached 2,000 MPa. So this structure can provide a very good protection for the battery pack and the cabin. The lateral impact resistance reaches 83 tons, so it can withstand 83 tons of impact. And for the rear floor, we use one-piece die-cast rear underbody to improve the strength. So the 4 core components of the vehicle, the front chassis frame, the threshold frames, etc., are all reinforced. As a result, the strength of the whole car body is very high. And we'd like to use one parameter to show how strong this is. It's called torsional rigidity. So, to give example, for Ford Raptor F-150, their number, the rigidity is 26,500. So we have entered a smart EV era. Every brand is trying to increase their torsional rigidity. So we are definitely number 1 in production cars. Our rigidity is 51,000. Not bad, right? For a sedan, reaching such a rigidity is extremely impressive. So we have 7 airbags on the far side and also 2 side airbags, which are 2.04 meters long, which can protect the passenger seats, the back seats from side impact. And we've done internally more than 40 impact tests. covering all three impact standards, as I mentioned before. And the internal standard we use is actually even more stringent than the three standards I talked about. The front, the side. So for each test, we actually outperform all those standards. What about impact from the back? The national standard is to withstand 50 km per hour. The American standard is the most strict, is 80. While our internal standard is 90 km per hour plus 70% of divergent impact. So definitely we're leading. So that's our attitude, that's our determination to safety. And when we look at active safety, we have 16 active safety tests, 360 protection. The goal is to have 4 emergency brake. For every 300,000 kilometers, we will not have more than 1 false alert. We also built a very big scenario database to actually improve the efficiency, the accuracy by 200-fold. We also have an invented 4D temporal spatial labeling. So by labeling all pedestrians, objects, speed, and acceleration, we can predict the movements, the future movements of all cars and vehicles, as well as pedestrians, in order to improve the safety. And we optimize targeting two-wheel scooter. To give you one example, when a scooter runs a red light, the car can actually detect the scooter before the driver and brake in advance. And as for battery, besides the Kirin battery co-produced with CATL, we also invented the inverted cell technology to improve battery safety. What's more, privacy security is something that a high-tech company should be good at. We provide comprehensive privacy protection, from bottom layer to application layer, from single device to end-to-end protection. We also design multi-account system. And for different accounts, the privacy is actually protected. We also provide temporal accounts for scenarios such as car maintenance and washing. So during maintenance, the privacy is protected. And we also have end-to-end encryption between different devices. So in all aspects of safety, we follow the highest standard. This is the SU7. To sum up, all the features. This is a full-size, high-performance, eco-technology sedan. It's not just good-looking. It also has one of the best drag coefficient for production cars. It has high performance, matching sports cars priced at 1 million RMB. And also the 0 to 100 acceleration only takes 2.78 seconds, and the highest speed is 265 km per hour, and 100 kilowatt hours of battery pack, and high range, high voltage, 871 volts. And very good cold weather range retention, and very good vehicle safety, very high torsional rigidity, and smart carbon, Hyper OS, Snapdragon 8295 cabin chipsets. And we developed our own driving algorithm, and also our integrated LiDAR. These are all the parameters I talked about of SU7, and I'm not going to repeat them one by one. And In our future launch, I will tell you more details. And I think the price will be a little bit high, but it's worth every bit. And the user experience will exceed your expectation. Please bear with us for another few months. We have two editions. The standard edition is powerful enough. And I'm not going to dwell on this too much. This is our SU7. How do you like it? So we have achieved driver-vehicle harmony, oneness between driver and the car. A perfect experience for drivers. I quite like aqua blue. Since you have to wait for a few months, and Xiaomi 14 actually just launched our special edition, or limited edition. So before you can buy a Xiaomi SU7, you can buy a matching phone, a matching Xiaomi 14. And also we actually have a watch to match the phone and SU7. It also comes in verdant green. And those limited edition will be sold at the same price as other Xiaomi 14. You can start ordering right now on Xiaomi online store.
Meanwhile, many people are curious about the progress made of our vehicle, so we have set up our WeChat public account, and if you follow us, for every 1 hour, we will send one Xiaomi 14 limited edition as a gift, so you don't have to buy it. So how about you just follow us right now with your cell phone? Maybe you're the lucky one.
Now,
do you want to look at the real car? Okay. In a bit, after this launch event, we have an exhibition in the first floor. There are real cars in the exhibition floor, and also there are some demos about those technologies. Please stay with us after this launch event and tour around the exhibition hall. And on the stage, we have prepared 2 real cars. Now let's give a big round of applause to welcome SU7. So this are our real cars, the aqua blue. Did you see how it gets on the stage? We have the unmanned autonomous driving technology to take it here. And this one is mineral gray. Is it beautiful? Just look at the low stance, the smooth outline. The car is plump with tension. It's sport style as well, very classy. So please stay with us to tour around the exhibition hall after this launch event. At this point, honestly speaking, I still have a lot to say out of my mind. And please allow me to take some time to spill it out. So please stay with me for a little while. In the past 1,003 days, I commonly looked back at the night of March the 30th, 2021, when we announced our car-making decision officially. And in those days, unluckily, I caught a severe cold. I had hoarse throat. It was even challenging for me to speak out on the stage. I didn't even know how could I complete the whole evening's speech. But our fans were encouraging. I was excited in that time, and I blurted out that I want to stake all my reputation to complete the last one enterprising project, to fight for Xiaomi EV. That night, when I stepped down from the stage, I had mixed feelings. Because I once invested on several new vendors, and some are in the business of car manufacturing. I knew more than anybody that car making was difficult, and I looked around. I saw numerous uncertainties, but the die is cast, and it's a journey of a century. From that moment on, for me, myself, and for Xiaomi, we officially opened this new chapter of car making. It was a successful event on that night. Within very limited time, we received over 20,000 resumes. And also within this period of time, we have gathered a large number of experts in the car making industry, including designers like Li Tianyan. They frequently ask me, what will be the product lineup? I said, what is a lineup? Have you heard of the name? They told me that it's just the plan and the layout of your products, because the car manufacturers prefer the platform framework, and on this one platform, they make a series of vehicles to cover different user groups and different price ranges. In one exhibition hall, there may be dozens of vehicles, and there will be always one suitable to the consumer. And they taught me that more options enhanced competitiveness. But I thought differently. I said we didn't need such a pile-up of products. How about we just focus on one specific product? And I didn't want just a mediocre vehicle. I said what we needed is the one that can rival Porsche and Tesla. It's our dream car. So, from that moment on, we abandoned all the shortcuts and we pruned for the hardest way. We decided to start from the underlying technologies and stay down to earth with 10 times investment to take the car making business seriously. And we are patient enough to take about 15 to 20 years to accomplish this dream. This is truly surmounting the summit with firm strides. For Xiaomi, it's a big, major stride from the smartphone to vehicle. And it's also a major stride to complete the closed loophole of human, vehicle, and home ecosystem. It's a new starting point for Xiaomi. And I'm convinced that someday in the future, there will be Xiaomi EV running on every road of this world. In 3 days' time, 2023 will be behind us. Looking back at the past 1 year, every one of you must have mixed feelings. Days ago, I was wandering on the streets of Beijing. The morning sunshine shone on the unmelted snow by the lanes. It was cold, but the air was clear. I stopped once in a while, watching the flow of fleets on the lanes. And the majority of the drivers were driving alone. Looking at those figures, I couldn't help wondering, what are they thinking when they're driving alone? What are they happy for at this moment? And what are they annoyed about? The new year is upcoming, and what are their aspirations for the next year? Looking at those figures flashing by, I suddenly had an impulse. I wanted to cheer up for those strangers. I even wanted to say that in the past 1 year, you did a good job. The hardship you endured is only known by yourself. So you have to be thankful to yourself and give a bonus to yourself. For those flashing figures, they represent the real backbone of this era. At that moment, I was thinking, what can I do for them? No matter how grand are the topics of this era, and no matter how many responsibilities you are shouldering, everyone harbors a burning dream and a strong desire for limitless freedom. I thought Xiaomi could manufacture a good vehicle for the drivers. The vehicle can help them to realize their dreams and aspirations. I hope that this vehicle could become your most tacit partner that always engage with you and accompany you to anywhere you aimed for. And this vehicle can tour along the dunes of Turpan and also drive on the tracks of Liubei. It could keep you company along the coconut tree avenues by the seaside and also shuttle back and forth in the urban streets. I hope that every step on the accelerator and every turning, every braking could enable you to enjoy the mastery with the harmony between driver and vehicle. And I hope that on board this vehicle, you could feel not only comfort, but also the hard-won ease and leisure. Whether you're taking a short rest here or you're driving home in the evening, you are ready to stay for a while inside this vehicle. You have a sense of control of your life, because only the definite mastery can deliver to us unparalleled freedom. Today, on my way here, I saw that the noon sunshine got through those car windows. The drivers left behind the golden silhouettes. And at that moment, I almost saw you surmounting numerous obstacles in the past years. But you remain firm and faithful, marching toward the new era starting from this winter. No matter how cold or windy this winter is, you will always feel warm inside this vehicle. Your pace and vehicle are forceful alike. I especially want to highlight that we should always cheer up for the ambitious people and walk shoulder by shoulder with the alias of this era. So the first vehicle of Xiaomi SU7, is created for the dreamers on the road. Your life journey will always be broad if you're confident, and the achievement of always marching forward is the best bonus to your life. Thank you, everyone. This is the end of today's launch event. And please come downstairs to the exhibition hall.